Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear it. It's a
Yeah, I
little
can hear
low, but
you.
I can hear you pretty good. All right, cool. You can or can't?
Okay. No, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can hear
So,
you good now. What's
you
up,
want to
man?
know my you, you want to know my justification for eating animal products?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Because I didn't climb to the top of the food chain and munch on a fucking carrot. That's why.
Yeah, well, just because you're on top of the food
I
chain
s-
isn't moral justification, right? Like you could use that same justification to kill dogs. Am I morally justified to kill dogs because I'm above them on the food chain?
yeah, absolutely you are.
Oh, really? So I can just go around slitting dogs' throats
I mean,
just
yeah.
because I enjoy it. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool. So what's the morally relevant difference between a human and an animal that justifies killing animals but not humans? What's the difference? What's
cuz
a
they
morally relevant trait?
cuz they taste good on a
Is it
barbecue
because we're is
grill.
it because we're is it because we're smarter? And why is it okay to kill animals for? Oh, yep. So he left because he has no argument. So there, he just justified killing dogs. No surprise there. Typical meat eater, and then he runs away because nobody ever has an argument. I'll try to respond to what he said, or what you guys are saying.
No, you can hear me?
Circle boy. If that's not a moral justification, just speak. Hey, what's up, man?
Uh, I just, the one statement you made, I don't know what you're preaching about, but the one statement, how do you compare kicking a cat or whatever you said to eating food? How is eating meat worse than kicking a cat?
Yeah. So, would you rather? Let me ask you a question. Would you rather be gassed alive and burned from the inside out and die, or would you rather be kicked?
But how is that? So if
No,
I go
answer
to,
my question. Don't dodge. Answer my question. Would you
well,
rather be gassed alive, burned from the inside out, or would you rather be kicked?
obviously I'd rather be kicked.
Okay, well
But
the animals that you eat, let me explain because you asked a question. The animals that you eat get gassed alive. So not only is it a comparison, actually what you do to animals is much worse. You force
no,
animals to be gassed alive. You force pigs into gas chambers. Versus Kurt Zuma, all he
bro,
did was kick a cat. So what
bro,
you do is arguably much worse.
okay, so if I go to the store and I buy a package of chicken, I'm not the person that
Yes.
did shit to the chicken. The chicken's gonna be there either way. So for you to put that on somebody
Okay.
else's head, that doesn't
Well,
make
it's
any
because
sense.
okay, so it's basic supply and demand, right? Econ 101. When you pay for a product, that causes a farmer to supply that product to you. So when you pay for that chicken has to be replaced. How it's replaced is a farmer raises another chicken, sends it to the slaughterhouse, and the chicken has its neck snapped, or the pig is gassed alive. So you are the cause of that animal dying. Is it any better
Well, why
to
wouldn't you
kill
argue?
somebody or pay
Why
are
wouldn't
you
you?
morally absolved from something just because you pay for a man to kill somebody? You still caused
Um.
that action to happen.
But why would you preach towards people that that's their fault? Why wouldn't you preach that to kill the animals in a humane way?
Because I don't think there's any way to kill something humanely. The definition of humane is to show compassion and
So then, why
benevolence. I
do
do not think you
animals?
should can show
But animal.
compassion.
So
Well, you
you're
can't
telling
answer.
me
You
if,
can't ask me a question and then interrupt me while I'm answering you. So the
but
definition of humane is to show compassion and benevolence. You cannot show compassion and benevolence by killing something that doesn't want to die. That animal has the will to live and will experience future well-being, and you're taking away from that animal when you could have just ate plants instead.
okay, so if two animals in the wild and one is hungry and the other one eats the other one, is that now like a sin? What are you talking about?
So animals don't have moral agency and they do it out of survival, right? We do not eat meat out of survival. We can be perfectly healthy on a vegan diet. We do not base our morality off of what animals do. Animals also rape each other in nature. That doesn't mean we're morally justified to rape just because we animals do it. We do not base our behavior or our morality off of what animals do.
Okay, I get the point there, but also I'm not too, what's the word, like up to date with vegan stuff. I remember seeing a statistic that if everybody went vegan, it would be like literally impossible to supply the amount of food that's needed. But
Yeah, so
I'm not gonna say that as a fact because I don't actually know that. But
yeah, so
what
that's yeah, I'll answer. So that's 100% factually incorrect. Actually, the largest meta-analysis to date on the relationship between food and our environment, which a meta-analysis is the highest form of scientific evidence, concludes that a vegan diet would require 75% less land because we wouldn't have to be growing mass amounts of crops and feeding them to animals. There's a peer reviewed study that shows if America alone were to switch to a plant based food system, we'd be able to feed over twice our current population. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, with over 100 scientists from over 50 different countries, concludes that we'd be able to feed more people using less land on a vegan diet. So to say otherwise is just
okay,
false
so
because we grow so much crops to feed the animals. It's a huge
I'll
inefficient
take your
waste.
word. I'll take your word for it on that one because I do not have a statistic to back that up. But what I'm confused to understand here is why you don't try to preach about killing an animal in a humane way, because that is just nature. That's life. Like people, the animals have always killed each other to survive. They see the first food source, they eat it. They don't second guess it. So why
Yeah.
would you?
So why would I tell people to kill stuff humanely when I can just tell them not to kill it all, right? I could take my dog and shoot him in the back of the head and have him never feel anything, but it would have been better just to not kill my dog, right? We have the option to not eat meat, so why are we needlessly killing animals and taking away future well-being from them when they have the will to live? It does not make any sense at all.
I mean, when you're comparing it to a pet, that just doesn't, like, I understand what you're doing there, and you're not entirely wrong, I guess, but it's still just the fact of animals have eaten each other since the beginning of time. So like you're trying to completely
Right.
change how
Right.
like
And
the fucking food chain works. I don't understand that, like, even a little
and
bit.
I
I don't know.
right. Right, and I already answered that. So just because animals do something doesn't mean it's morally justified for us to do. Animals have also been raping each other since the beginning of time. That does not mean we're morally justified to rape each other. Animals kill and eat their own babies. Animals torture each
You
other.
know
We do
why we're
not
not
base our
morally
morality
just
or our
okay.
behavior off of what animals do. Here's a fun fact: when a lion greets each other, they sniff each other's asshole. When your friend walks in the room, you don't bend down and sniff his asshole just because of lions have been doing it since the beginning of time, right? We don't
Okay,
base
but
our behavior.
you know, you can't compare a human to that, because obviously we're on top of the food chain because our level of intelligence, not our strength. Obviously,
I'm
we
using
would get
your
we would
so
get
you're
washed
not
out by
tracking. So you're not
if we were
tracking.
in the forest, if we were in a forest with a bear, the bear would wash us out. But we've created
But we're
technology to,
not.
but we're not. Okay, obviously we're not anymore.
If a bear is
You
coming
get
after
what I'm saying? You
if
get,
a bear is
because
kill if a bear is coming
we
after
have a
you and
level
you
of
kill
intelligence that oversees a fucking lion sniffing another lion's ass. What is that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. You can't compare
well,
eating
it
a
was your
chicken
it's no
to
it's
rape.
your logic. I'm using your logic. You're the one who said that because animals have been doing it since the beginning of time, that means it's okay for us to do. So I applied your logic in another context to show you what your logic would justify and why your logic is flawed.
With
So
eating,
that
not
argument
with
doesn't
eating
work.
the
That just
animal,
because
not with
animals have been doing
raping.
something doesn't make it okay for us to
You
do.
brought what I said with the food chain to rape with animal. That doesn't make any sense. That's just,
It's
that's
your logic.
illogical. No, it's not. I
It's
said
literally your logic. You are saying, listen, you keep asking me questions. You can't keep interrupting me. You're saying that eating meat is okay because animals have been doing it since the beginning of time. So I gave you another example of something animals have done since the beginning of time, and now you're against it. That's called a contradiction. You're saying it's okay and not okay to do something because animals have done it since the beginning of time. You are contradicting yourself.
it's not a contradiction, because I'm
It's
talking about
absolutely
eating.
is.
I'm talking about eating, and you're talking about rape
We're
with
talking
animals.
about
That is,
needlessly killing animals because you don't need to eat animals in order to live. You can eat plants instead and be perfectly healthy off a plant-based diet. So I'm asking you, why is it justified to slit animals' throats when we could just eat plants instead?
listen. I'm not saying that we're the most humane way of the way we get our food, but I think you should preach on how to get the most humane animal source of meat. And I get you're saying that every way is inhumane, I guess, or like morally wrong, but
Yeah,
that
you
doesn't
can't
really.
humanely kill something that doesn't want to die.
So tell that to every goddamn animal that gets killed every single day,
Okay.
even to this
Okay.
day.
So once
Like,
again, we already so you're just talking in circles. We already went over this.
no, no,
Animals
you
do it out of
definitely are right,
survival and
but
don't.
because we're both on two different understandings here of like how eating work. Like when an animal first sees something, they eat it. They don't second guess like, oh, is it gonna hurt them? Like, so obviously we have the brain power to understand. Yes, it's gonna hurt them. I understand what you're saying there, but every other animal on this planet doesn't understand that. We do. So I can
That's
understand.
awesome. Animals also don't understand it's wrong to rape. That doesn't mean we're morally justified to rape just because animals do it. You're just talking in circles. We've already went over this. Just because an animal does something doesn't mean it morally justifies you to do something. Animals
I'm not.
also don't use phones and TikTok. You're on a phone and on TikTok right now. We don't base our behavior or our morality off of what animals do. If you're saying that an action is justified just because animals do it, then you just morally justified everything that animals do: torture, rape, killing and eating their own babies, all sorts of horrendous things. That's a terrible argument.
I maybe you got a point with that, but I think you're just thinking too deep on this. You're right. We are just talking in circles. I don't want to sit here and do that forever. So like, I just found it crazy that you compared that. No, that you said it's worse to eat. If I go to the grocery store and buy a package of chicken, and you think it's worse for me to buy that fucking package of chicken
Well,
versus going up to my
you
dog and
think
just
it's worse.
Batista bombing the dog? Like that
Yep.
doesn't make any sense to
Yeah,
me.
well, actually, no, you think it's worse because I asked you at the start. I said, would you rather be gassed alive or would you rather be kicked? And you said you'd rather be kicked. Well, the animals
But
that
am
you
I the
eat
one
get
gassing
gassed
them?
alive, and the
But
cat
I obviously
and the dogs are only getting kicked. So according to
I
your own logic, it's worse.
okay, so you obviously, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, yeah, I'd rather be kicked. Obviously, we know what you're doing there. But am I the one that's going up to the damn chicken and gas it? I just said, if you want to argue about killing it in a humane way, that makes sense. But you can't try to spin this in circles and be like, well, you said you'd rather be kicked. That doesn't make any
You
damn
did
sense.
say
I'm
that.
not
It's
the
not
one
spinning
doing
it
the
in
work.
circles. You're sitting here perplexed that I would say it's worse to eat meat than to kick a cat. But the animals that you eat, when you pay for meat, you are causing an animal to be gassed alive. Versus
The
just
animal
kicking a
has
cat.
already
The
been
animals getting
kicked.
gassed alive go through a lot more torture than being kicked. That's why eating meat is worse because you are paying for animals to be gassed alive.
All right, bro, I get where you're going with this, and I understand what you're saying. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? But it's just like I don't see how me buying the already packaged chicken. I didn't go to the damn factory and say, hey, I want that one and do that. Like, I bought the
Yep.
damn package of chicken. It's as simple as that. Like,
Yeah, so we already went over this as well. When you pay for a product, you're paying for that product to be replaced. It's basic supply and demand. So when you buy an already dead chicken, you pay for another chicken to be killed in its place. That's how supply and demand works. That's capitalism 101.
listen, you're strong in your beliefs, man. I'm honestly bored about talking about this, but not yet. You strong in your beliefs. Good for you. I just don't see it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. All right, homie. Well, I just don't think we have an excuse to be needlessly killing and abusing animals, but I hope you have a good one, man.
Yeah, sure.
Every time, man. Nobody can argue against me. Um, there's literally no excuse. I've been doing this for 6 years. No justification to be harming animals when we can just eat plants instead. Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, dog. Yeah, you all right?
So, there is some pros to being vegetarian. Like, you get a nice variety of vegetables and fruits each day, but you
Yeah, for
don't
sure.
get the protein and fat that you need.
Okay, so that's objectively false. So you can get plenty of protein on a vegan diet. The animals that you eat get their protein from plants, and as a matter of fact, the largest meta-analysis to date on comparing soy protein to animal protein concludes that soy protein is just as effective at building muscle mass and strength. So to say otherwise is to disagree with the highest form of scientific evidence. And I would be willing to bet if you told me your max squat, bench, and deadlift, I'd be willing to bet mine are probably double yours. And I'm been vegan for 6 years. So it's just insane to me that people come up to me and say stuff like this when I'm like literally 250 pounds.
Okay, but people who are vegan, have to be using like protein supplements and all of that stuff.
You don't have to. You can. I mean, plenty of meat eaters use protein supplements. Most people who use protein supplements are meat eaters. Whey protein. Vegans don't drink whey protein. That's the most popular source of protein. There's nothing wrong with consuming protein powder.
Oh, I just saw a comment in your
So do you have an
TikTok,
argument
and
for killing animals,
this
or
is actually true, that people are getting that ink from animals, and you have tattoos all over your body. So,
yeah? So
it's not
also
vegan.
I've responded to this no less than 500 times. My artist uses Eternal Ink, which is vegan and cruelty free. My art, I don't know if this is true or not. You can fact check me. This might not be true, but when I was getting my chest piece the other day, my artist told me they actually don't even make tattoo ink with animal products anymore because it's gives people reactions too often, and the vegan ink's so much better. So there's tons of vegan ink out there, such as Eternal Ink. So to say my tattoos have animal products is just factually incorrect. Type in Eternal Ink. It'll say vegan and cruelty free. So, do you have anything else you want to say that's objectively false, or do you have an excuse for killing animals when you don't need to? I can hear you Google searching, and it's because because you just realized Eternal Ink is vegan and cruelty free. So, do you have an argument, or do
But
you want me to bring
there's
on the next person?
bring him
Do
on.
you have an
Yes.
argument, or do you want me to bring on the next person? Yep, that's what happens. He literally left. You guys don't realize that every one of you gets up here and thinks you're going to have an argument I haven't heard a million times before, but I've heard them all millions of times. I get on here, I do this every week, and you guys give me the same 12 arguments every week of my life. It blows my mind. People think they're going to come up here who haven't thought about veganism a day in their life and argue with somebody who's been debating veganism for 6 years. There's literally no moral justification. We're talking about slitting animals' throats, gassing them alive, and snapping their necks when we do not need to. All right, let's see what else we got. We'll do Jesus, LOL. Hello?
Oh, hello?
Hello? Hey, what up, dog?
We like eating animals?
Me? No, I don't. I'm vegan, actually. Are you a troll?
Yeah, I like eating animals. They're pretty good. Do you?
Okay, so just because you derive pleasure from eating animals, that means you're morally justified to do it?
Yeah, they're like tasty and stuff, you know? Like,
Oh,
I
okay,
like the
so
flavor.
Michael Vick, derived pleasure from fighting dogs. Does that mean he was morally justified to fight dogs?
Bro, I just like eating
Answer the
animals,
question,
bro.
don't dodge.
I just
Well,
like
you're
eating
saying that
animals, bro.
because
That's all I'm saying.
you're saying that deriving pleasure and getting enjoyment from something
I
morally
like steak.
justifies
Do you?
harming animals.
Do you like steak?
Okay, so yeah, are you going to answer? I'm going to kick you if
Steak is
not.
so good, bro. I like steak, bro.
Okay, yeah, so
And
he has
ribs,
no
actually. Ribs are
justification,
so
as
good,
always.
bro.
No surprise there. Go on to the next one. It's typical animal abuser. They just get their defense mechanism kicks in and they realize they have no argument, so they sit there and say things you hear every day in my life.
Oh.
I
Damn.
think they're creative. Hello? What
Hello?
up, dog?
Yo,
Hey, what up, homie? Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright.
What's up? What's up? Hello? I'm gonna have to kick you. I can't hear you. Nothing personal, dog. You can resend me a request and I'll accept you. I just can't hear you. Oh God, I'm gonna accept. I'm accepting an order, but I have a feeling this person's gonna be a troll. I hope I'm wrong. Hello? 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 You there? All right, so this person isn't here either. So I'm gonna respond to some like.
Sorry,
Oh,
I'm
so
here.
you are here? Okay, cool.
Yeah, totally. So,
What's
like,
up,
I
dog?
understand what you mean by, like, trying to aim to be vegan and everything, but, like, for the majority of
Yeah.
people, especially those that have disabilities and that, it's very unable to access it in an easy way. So, what is your answer to getting that into people that aren't able to do it easily?
If there's somebody who literally cannot, like, for whatever reason, like, literally has to eat animals in order to survive, like, say, like, some tribesmen in the third world country or, like, Inuit up in Alaska or something, yeah, that's morally justified. If you're doing it out of survival, it's perfectly morally justified. But if you're in a first world country and have access to a grocery store and you can be vegan, then there's no moral justification for you to be needlessly harming animals.
But I'm in a first world country and, like, I have a disabled parent. So, like, they really do need access to, like, easy accessible food. And even though I'm in a first world country, disability care isn't, there and
Yeah,
free or
so
anything like that.
beans,
So how
lentils,
do you,
rice, legumes, pasta, oats, potatoes are all very easily accessible. You can get them at any grocery store.
no, they're not very easily accessible at the moment. And the problem is
Really,
her blood
really,
tests
beans,
are
lentils,
coming
rice,
back.
potatoes.
Yeah, so she's been
Does your
eating
town
that for
only
a
have a
good
meat
while
shack or
now.
what?
And sorry,
What's
I was
that?
just talking. So she's been eating those sort of things for a while now, and her blood tests have been coming back bad. And, like, there is just no way around it. And she's not healthy. And, so
Well,
what
okay.
would be the
So why not just take a
problem?
multivitamin? Why not vary your diet? You can be perfectly healthy off a
Vitamin,
vegan diet. This is stated by the largest group of nutrition experts in the entire world, the American Dietetic Association, in a peer-reviewed statement. So to say otherwise is to disagree with the largest group of nutrition experts in the world. What magical nutrient
sorry.
can you not get from animal flesh that what magical nutrient does animal flesh have that you can't get on a vegan diet that's essential for the body?
Majority of the amino acids, yeah.
Oh, actually, you can get
Like,
all 9 amino acids on a vegan diet, so that's factually incorrect. As a
Are
matter of
you
fact, the
paying
animals
for
that
the
you eat get their
vitamins?
protein
So are
from
you
plants.
saying, are you trying to say that somebody that is disabled has to take vitamins and be vegan? Is that the goal that
I
you're
don't.
aiming
Well,
for
I
here?
said at very first, if somebody literally has to eat animal products in order to live, they're perfectly morally justified because they're doing it out of survival. I'm saying people who
So
can
you
be
think
healthy
that
off a vegan diet and
anyone
can
that
live off a
needs
vegan
to
diet and have
eat,
access to a grocery store, they have no moral justification. So I don't know your mom's situation, so I can't speak to it. But I'm very
so,
suspect because you can't give me a single nutrient that animal flesh has that you can't get off a vegan diet. That's essential for the body.
well, that's
So
not
do you have an
good.
argument for needlessly stabbing animals when you don't need to?
Yeah, because they taste good and it helps
Okay,
me
so
be
so
alive
because you
and
get enjoyment, so
I'm
because you get enjoyment from harming animals, that means you're morally justified.
no, I wouldn't say enjoyment. Basic
Well, you just said
nutrition. It
because it
keeps
tastes
me
good.
going.
You get enjoyment from it because it tastes good.
So it tastes good because it's fulfilling nutrient deficiencies that I probably need to fix.
Nutrients that
You
you
know what
can
I
get
mean?
off a vegan diet. The largest group of nutrition experts in the entire
Yeah,
world, the
but
American
it,
Dietetic Association, states in a peer-reviewed statement that you can get all essential nutrients off a vegan diet and be perfectly healthy off a vegan diet. They even go further to say the vegan diet is also preventative against a lot of our top killing disease, such as heart disease. So to say otherwise is factually incorrect and to disagree with the largest group of nutrition experts in the world. So, do you have an argument for needlessly stabbing animals?
yeah, I do because if I could sit there and eat grass all day and get my nutrients, it'd probably take 12 hours, and I'd rather
Oh,
just eat a
you
dirt.
don't have to just. I don't know. I didn't hear what you said. I think you said broccoli, but you don't have to eat just broccoli all day. There's 60,000 edible plants: potatoes, beans, pasta, legumes, oats, spaghetti. Like you can literally eat anything you can imagine that you
Spaghetti.
can eat on a diet with meat. You
I
can get.
didn't
There's a
realize
vegan version
spaghetti
of
was
it.
vegan. That's really weird.
What'd you
What
say?
spaghetti are you eating?
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
There's chickpea. Actually, I have some right here. Right here, and there's also a lot of there's tons of vegan spaghetti noodles. Like not all noodles have
Oh,
eggs in
that
them.
looks real fancy. I haven't
So
seen spaghetti like that. I normally get,
it's
the
high in
cheap
protein. Actually, it's 20
spaghetti.
grams of protein per serving. But are you going to keep wasting my time, or do you have a justification for abusing animals when you don't need to?
I didn't realize I was wasting your time.
Why do
Well,
you pay
like
for
my
pigs to be gassed
justification is
alive and
that
cows to have their throats slit? Huh?
because that's like where we have ended up. I agree that like the methods aren't right and that we're aiming to get to a point where we can start growing and doing what we can with our meat products. But the
Yeah.
what you're
So
trying to
just because
say
it is
is
that
not
way, it
really
doesn't mean
correct.
that it ought to be that way, right? That's the is ought gap. Just because it's the way something is
Yeah,
doesn't
like
mean
I
that it's
agree.
okay. Okay, so I'm asking you, what's your
No,
moral justification for paying for animals to be stabbed when you don't need to?
because I need nutrients to keep myself going, and I
And
struggle
again,
to
you
get
can get
out of
all the
bed
essential
most days.
nutrients off a vegan diet, as stated by the largest group of nutrition experts in the entire world in a peer-reviewed statement. So that's not an excuse, and
Bro,
you can
why
get
do
all
you
your
sound
nutrients
like
off a vegan
Ben
diet.
Shapiro right now? Why do you literally sound like Ben Shapiro? You got like the
Okay,
same
so
little
that's not an
audio
argument.
tech.
So
You need a little
stop. No,
button
that's
you
not an
can
argument.
press.
You're trying to talk about something else because you have no argument. Answer my question. Why do you need to pay for animals to be stabbed and abused? You willingly came up here as if you had an argument, so let's hear it.
Okay, so my argument is I'm not gonna spend all day eating like basic products that I'm not enjoying
Okay,
because
so
I
once again,
like meat
you're back
products
to
and
enjoyment
they give me
justifies
the
harming
nutrients
animals.
that I
You're
need.
So you're back to you're saying it's justified because you enjoy harming animals. You enjoy the taste you get from harming animals. So is
It's
Michael Vick
justified
morally
because I
justified to
need the
fight dogs
energy.
because he
Yes.
enjoys fighting dogs?
No, that's completely different
Okay, so you
because he's
contradicted
not
yourself.
using
You're
that
saying
for
it
a
is
purpose.
okay and is not okay to harm animals because you get enjoyment from it. That's a contradiction. You just contradicted yourself. Do you have anything to say about that?
So you're
Or do you
trying
want
to
to go with
say
another
that
argument?
no. Let's think about this. So you're trying to say that like using an animal just for your own fun is the same as using it for like what
For
we've been
your own
doing this
enjoyment.
whole time in human
It's the exact
consistency.
same thing. It's the
Enjoyment,
exact
enjoyment.
same thing.
Eating is enjoyment.
Yes, it's the exact same thing
So
because you do not need to eat meat in order to live. So the only reason you're doing it is for enjoyment, as admitted by yourself. And the only reason Michael
you
Vick
do
fights
not
dogs
need
is for
to
enjoyment. It's
eat
the
meat
exact same
to
thing.
live.
So on one hand, you're saying it's morally justified to abuse animals because of enjoyment, and then on the other hand, you're saying it's not morally justified to abuse animals because of enjoyment. So you're contradicting yourself.
No, no, no. I agree
Yeah,
that it's morally justified all round. You're the one that's saying that's not.
yeah, it's not. So Michael Vick fighting dogs is morally justified.
Well, you're the one that said that, yeah.
No,
I would
that was
agree
your
that's what you're
logic. That
saying.
was your logic. I see. I'm
I
vegan.
didn't.
I think that harming animals for pleasure is disgusting and morally atrocious. You're the one who's
I
saying it's
think.
morally justified. So I'm asking
I don't
you,
think it's
why is it
morally.
morally justified?
Hey, I don't think it's morally justified. I think it's delicious.
Oh, okay.
That's
So once
that's
again,
completely
so
different.
harming animals because you get enjoyment from it is morally justified then? Yes or no?
I don't get enjoyment for it. I just said it's
Taste is
delicious. It's like
enjoyment. Taste is enjoyment. You get sensory pleasure from it. So harming animals because you get sensory pleasure from it is morally justified. Yes or
you
no?
want to talk to me about sensory pleasure. Ooh.
Stop dodging.
All
Stop
right.
dodging. Answer. Answer. Stop dodging.
Ooh.
More is it
Ooh.
is it morally justified to harm animals because you
Yeah.
get sensory pleasure from it? Yes or
Yes, it
no?
is. Of course.
Okay,
In the
okay. So
same way
so
that
if you
like
so nope,
you
stop,
see a
stop, stop,
lion
stop, stop.
attacking an
So if
animal
you
and
get
eating
so
it,
you if
and it's
you get
justified in that way.
so if you get pleasure from so if you get sensory pleasure from stabbing dogs because you like the way it sounds when you stab dogs, are you morally justified because you get sensory pleasure from it?
No, you should probably go
Okay,
to jail. That
contradiction.
might be
Another contradiction.
confirmed.
Good job, buddy. You're saying it is and is not morally justified to harm animals because you get sensory pleasure from it. Congratulations, sir. That's the fourth time you've contradicted yourself in the past 3 minutes.
I mean, you can like take it to whatever level you want, but
No, you are. This is your logic. You're the one contradicting
like,
yourself.
is your name actually Hunter?
Okay, so now you're just bringing up random stuff. So do you have a justification for harming animals? Yeah, I mean you can laugh out of embarrassment and being awkward and nervous, but that's not an argument,
No,
right?
no, no, no. That's embarrassment for you, but yeah, sure. Yes, I
Okay.
love like that sort of bruh. That's hilarious.
Okay, so do you
So
have an
your
argument for abusing
tattoo,
animals, or are you just gonna
really
keep
good ink.
dodging?
I was looking up the ink. That's really cool. So your tattoo artist, they trained on like just like vegan products and that sort of thing to do their training and everything like that.
Yeah, my tattoo artist uses eternal ink. That's why I go to him. So do you have a
Yeah,
justification
so
for
like
needing
when he was
for animals
like
to be abused?
so when he was training to become a tattoo artist, he was like
I
instead of
have
pigskin, just training on celery.
Yeah, I have
Is that what
I
you're
have
saying?
absolutely no idea what he so I have absolutely no idea what he did as training, but that's completely irrelevant because me going to him and getting tattooed by with eternal ink, which is vegan and cruelty free, doesn't cause any extra animals to die. So it's 100% vegan by definition. So I'll ask again, do you
Well,
have a
I mean,
justification for paying for animals to die when you can just eat plants instead? Or are you going to keep dodging?
I was just actually trying to talk about your tattoos. I was just curious, but I don't know
Well,
why I
yeah,
challenged you up
you're
about
just
it.
wasting my time. Do you have a justification for harming animals when you don't need to?
Well, I was just trying to ask how you
I
have
don't care. Do you have an
employed a
argument?
tattoo
Do you have an I
artist
don't
to
care. Do you have an
train up.
argument? What's that?
Yes, I do have an argument. It's that you have paid a professional tattoo artist to train up and get to a position where they could
That's
do it
false.
on
I
your
didn't pay
skin.
for his
And
training.
they have trained
He
with
was already
pig
trained.
skin and they've
Me going
trained.
for wait, hold on. So let me get this straight. You think if I didn't go and get tattoos from my tattoo artist, that his training would have been just magically disappeared? Is that how reality works? Are you
No,
okay?
but supply and demand
So it
means that
doesn't.
by
Yes,
you buying
yes, supply and
tattoos
demand,
that
and
you're expecting
I
people to do
completely
that.
agree.
Yeah.
And my tattoo artist uses eternal ink, which is vegan and cruelty free. So the only thing I'm
Yeah.
paying for is him to replace that vegan and cruelty free tattoo ink.
Yeah, but you do understand,
So
but
you
by
realize you have
hiring a
no argument, right? And you're
professional,
just tripping over your words and embarrassing
no,
yourself, correct?
that's not true. So by
Well, it's
saying that,
absolutely true because you've been on for 20 minutes now, and you're yet to give me a single argument for needlessly abusing, exploiting, and slaughtering animals when you could just pay for plants instead.
so the chat doesn't agree, and they're
Well,
saying
yeah,
that
that's
I'm bringing
because
up racist
99% of
fine art.
people eat meat. Are you going to appeal to popularity? The majority of people used to think slavery was okay too. That doesn't mean slavery was morally justified because the majority of people thought slavery was okay. That's an appeal to popularity fallacy.
You Americans really bring up slavery real quick to
Yeah, okay, so you
justify
have no argument.
anything
So
from
notice how every time you bring up an argument, I immediately derail it, and then you just try to change this conversation because you have no response.
So all I wanted to bring up was that you have hired a professional that has trained in unvegan ways, and part
We have
of
no
you
idea. Well,
hiring that is their training fee.
first off.
So
Well, okay,
you have
you're
indirectly
saying a
paid for
lot of.
someone,
Mhm.
you know,
So first off, we have
using
no idea
non-vegan products.
how. Okay, so you just keep talking because you don't want me to talk and embarrass you. So
No,
first
you
off, we
can
have no
talk.
idea how he trained. Second off, me going to him doesn't take away the fact that he trained or not. Me going to him doesn't cause any extra animals to be harmed, so that is therefore a vegan act. So what is your point?
A vegan act, like a good Christian
Yes,
act.
it doesn't cause.
Yeah.
If it doesn't cause extra animals to be needlessly abused, exploited, and slaughtered, then it is vegan. So does me
But
going to my
do you
tattoo artist
understand
cause extra?
that?
No, stop. Let me ask you a question. Does me going to my tattoo artist cause extra animals to be abused, exploited, and slaughtered? Yes or no?
Okay, so the word extra, I would say no.
So
But the
exactly.
fact of the
So it's
matter
vegan.
is,
Thank you. You agree with me.
there.
So now, why do you do actions that cause extra animals to be abused, exploited, and slaughtered?
Yes, all day, every day. But the thing is,
Yes,
you
I'm asking you
hiring a
why. I'm asking you
professional,
why, and what is your moral justification?
my moral justification is I cannot spend all day trying to find alternatives because I'm horribly
You don't
depressed
have
and
to spend
disabled.
all day trying to find alternatives. You literally move your hand 2 inches to the left and pick beans instead of steak.
Okay, so
It's not hard.
I've been trying to find a psychiatrist and I've been trying to find doctor's appointments this week, and there's been a 9-month waiting list for a psychiatrist in my area. If I needed to find a quote unquote vegan psychiatrist that had never trained
That has
before with
absolutely, dude. That has
products, that
absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about. It doesn't matter if you go to a vegan or non-vegan psychiatrist. That does not cause extra animals to be abused, exploited, and slaughtered. I'm
but it
asking you
does.
why you go to the grocery
But you're
store and pay for animals
disregarding
to be abused,
somebody.
exploited, and slaughtered when you could buy plants instead. You've been
You are
on for 20 minutes now and
disregarding.
are yet to give a single argument.
But I have gave multiple arguments. So
What?
the
Name
thing
one.
is, when you
Name
are
one.
hiring professionals and
We already went
part
over
of
this. I
their
already
business,
showed to you that me going to my
yes, I
tattoo
get it, Eternal
artist doesn't
Ink.
cause extra animals to be killed, and you agree. So,
Yes,
so
I
I'm asking,
agree
what is
that
your
you're not causing
motivation
extra
to
animals to
abuse,
be
exploit,
abused, but
slaughter
you have
animals when you do not need to?
the key word here is
Huh?
extra, I would say. The key word is extra
Yes.
animals to be
If
abused.
if your action doesn't cause
But
extra animals to be killed, it's vegan.
you have definitely caused
So are you going to
animals
give
to
me an
be
argument or
abused.
no? Because I'm going to kick you if you keep wasting my time. Do you have an argument for needlessly abusing, exploiting, and slaughtering animals when
Yes,
you
I
go to the
do.
grocery store
Because
and buy
like
meat?
it's simply ease of
What?
access, especially like disability ease of access. That's
You can get
that
beans, rice, lentils, legumes, potatoes, pasta, oats from any store. So that's not an
yeah,
excuse. As a matter of
but
fact, there's a large study out of Oxford which shows the vegan diet's 33% cheaper and takes less time to prepare. So if you're going to disagree with literal peer-reviewed research,
yeah, well, I do disagree with
oh yeah,
peer-reviewed
you're
research
going to
for that
disagree with the
one.
literal peer-reviewed research. Yes?
Yes, I will disagree with
Okay, you disagree
literal
with science. Nice.
peer-reviewed.
That's awesome. So are unicorns real too? If you're going to just disregard
Um,
science, are unicorns real? Is gravity real? Is anything real?
if unicorns were real, I'm sure they'd taste delicious.
Okay, so do you have an argument for eating animals when you don't need to?
Because they just look so goddamn delicious, and I just want
Okay,
to
so
like
because you get enjoyment from it. So
get all
so
that up
Michael
in
Vick
there.
also got enjoyment from fighting dogs. Is he morally justified to fight dogs?
Yeah, but dogs
Oh
might be
yeah, he
delicious.
was?
So, like,
Huh?
if he's fighting dogs and there might be meat left over, then it could be worthwhile. So I
Then it's
do see
morally
where he's
justified.
coming.
Hey, at least you didn't contradict yourself at that time. At least you just said, "Yeah, fighting dogs is morally justified as long as you can pick up their bloody scraps and eat them." That's awesome.
Yeah.
At least you didn't contradict yourself that time. I'll give you that. I mean, it was probably more embarrassing than contradicting yourself, but hey.
Why do you think I go to Mike Tyson fights?
Huh?
Huh? Mm.
So do you have a
So, like,
justification for killing and eating animals when you don't need to?
so do you like walk everywhere? How do you get
Actually,
about?
I'm going to ask you this question. So you do think it's morally justified to harm and abuse animals even if you don't need to? So could you just stab a dog just for no reason? Just stab a dog just because you get enjoyment from it?
I mean, you'd probably go to jail.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if it's morally justified.
I don't think anyone would say that it's morally justified to just walk up and stab a dog.
I'm asking you. So it's not morally justified to
Oh,
stab
you're
dog, but it is
asking
morally
me.
justified to
Sorry,
stab
sorry.
pigs.
Yes, yes, yes. Sorry, no. Yes, I would. Sorry. I'm not just
You would
everyone.
what?
Yes, I would stab a dog. Yeah.
You would stab a dog, and you'd say that's morally justified, even though you didn't have to. Just because you got enjoyment from it, that's morally justified.
It sort of depends on the dog, though. So, like, if the dog looks like it's got a good steak on the back,
Just
then
so
yeah.
to be
But like, if
clear,
it's like a little Jack Russell, what's the point? You
yeah.
know,
Well, no,
there is
it doesn't need a
literally
point
not a
because
steak.
your argument is that it's okay because you get enjoyment from it. So if you got enjoyment from stabbing dogs, it's morally justified.
No. It's not enjoyment. It's like a primal urge to get a
So if you
steak.
had a
You
primal
know?
urge to stab dogs, it's morally justified.
Yes, but I'd probably go to jail.
Yes.
So like,
Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. So you just said if you have primal urges to stab dogs for no reason, it's morally justified. Everybody keep that on record. Now I'm gonna ask you: is it morally justified to stab humans if you have a primal urge to do so?
okay, so did we
Answer the
go
question.
from
Answer the
veganism
question.
to I can't talk. Sorry. Yes,
Yes,
I agree. Sure. Yes. Yeah, sure.
because you're
I can't
just
talk.
morally
I'm
justified
sorry.
stabbing dogs. I wouldn't be able to talk either. So is it morally justified to stab humans if you get enjoyment from it, or you have a primal
I
urge
would
to do
even
it?
take that. I would take that a step further, and instead of humans, I'd specifically say like babies, because just all
Okay.
the flesh,
All right, that's
how
all I
tender
needed.
they look.
All right, buddy, thanks. We're going to the next one. I think that's enough. You just justified stabbing babies and dogs. This is what happens when you try to argue against veganism. So that's all I needed. There is no justification to stab animals when we don't need to, as you can see. You literally get forced into a corner where you have to justify stabbing babies and dogs. Like that's the absurdities being not vegan leads you to. I'm gonna keep going in order. Jordan Marie next. Yeah, there's just no justification to be doing what we're doing to animals. We don't need it to be healthy, as stated by the largest group of nutrition experts in the entire world. It's terrible for the environment, as stated by the largest meta-analysis to date on the relationship between food and our environment. What is it? It's 75% of emerging disease is zoonotic, meaning it happens from animals to humans. This most likely way this happens is through animal agriculture. So it's bad for disease, environment, and needlessly killing animals. Which, by the way, you guys all say are animal lovers, but then you pay for animals to die every day of your life. Super hypocritical. I'm sorry about that, Bobby. What's up?
So, okay. So I hear you keep
All
on
right, Bobby, I
ranting.
am not trying to be a dick dog. You sound young. It makes me look really
I'm
bad to argue with young
bad
kids. So nothing personal, man. I hope you have a good day. I can't argue
at
with
this.
kids. Sorry. Um, yeah, if you're like under like 15, I'm not gonna argue with you. It just looks weird to be arguing with little kids. Nothing personal against you, Bobby. I'm sure you're a cool guy. I'm gonna go to the bottom because the bottom people are most likely to have sent the guest requests recently, more likely to be here. I've been doing this for a while. He was 30, bro. I don't think he was 30. If he was 30, then I apologize to Bobby. I'm guessing he was more like 8, but let's see. I keep accepting people, but people must have left after sending whatever. Hello?
Yo, what's up?
Oh, okay, cool. What's up, man? You all right?
Yeah, I'm chilling. Just listen to your live. Are you I have a little question. Are you Christian?
No, I'm not religious
Yeah,
at all.
Christian. Okay.
What'd you say you would have guessed that? Is that what you said?
Huh?
What'd you say you would have guessed that?
No, I didn't say that. I just said
Oh.
no.
Oh, okay. But what's up?
I was gonna argue on that point of view, but I guess I can't anymore. But yeah, I'm trying to understand your standpoint on this. I just don't.
Yeah, so I'll explain my basic premise, okay? So we call ourselves animal lovers. We say we're against animal abuse. We have dogs and cats that we pet every day of our life. But then we go and pay for pigs, cows, and chickens to be forced into gas chambers, have their throats slit and neck snapped. When we call ourselves animal lovers, I mean, pigs are smarter than dogs. It makes no sense. The only reason we care about dogs and not pigs is because that's what we were taught. That doesn't mean it's right, right? Like, morally, a pig and a dog is the same. They both want to be happy, they both want to live, and they don't want to die. So if we don't need to eat animals in order to be healthy, which we don't, why are we doing it? Like, why are we needlessly killing animals when we just don't need to?
Oh man, I really wanna like put like the Christian standpoint on this, but I see where you're coming at. I see what you're going, but like I just I feel like even if it's not morally justified to kill a dog, people would still do it, and there's nothing you can do to stop other people from doing that. You
Right,
see what I'm
right.
saying?
Right, yeah. I mean, it's not morally justified to kill humans, but people are still going to do it anyway, right? But that doesn't mean I shouldn't be like, hey guys, it's wrong to kill humans, right? Like that doesn't morally justify like you to kill animals just because like other people are still going to do it. Like in the same way, it doesn't morally justify you to kill humans just because other people are still going to do it. You know what I mean? We'll never have a
Yeah,
perfect
I get
world.
what
We can't
you're
stop all
saying.
injustice, but that doesn't morally justify. That doesn't mean it's morally justified. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm. But I feel like as humans, we have the choice to make that, or the option to make that choice, and like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, right, it's a choice, but it's not a personal choice because on the end of that choice is a pig being gassed alive when, like, we don't need to, right? I'm arguing it's a bad choice to make. Everything's a choice. Something's not justified just because it's a choice, right? Like, punching somebody in the face is a choice. That doesn't mean it's the right choice to make. So I'm saying that paying for animals to be exploited, abused, and killed is the wrong choice to make, correct?
Yeah,
Or do you get what I'm
I get
saying?
what you're saying. Hmm.
Okay, cool.
I totally understand your standpoint. I really do. I feel like even if we were to go back in time, um, just it would have never changed. I don't like.
Well, I
It's
mean, we
hard.
can't go
I
back in
really
time, right? I'm just saying we
want to.
should. I'm just
Huh?
saying we should
Go ahead.
change now. I'm saying why are we still? I mean, there was a point in time where we actually needed to kill any animals in order to live, but that time is not anymore. We don't need to do it anymore. So why are we still doing it when we don't need to?
Okay, I'm gonna bring up a little bit of Christianity into this. So
That's
back
fine.
then, okay, yeah, okay, good. Back then, whenever if you don't believe this, that's fine. But
No, that's cool.
you
I
know
mean,
what?
I don't know anything about Christianity, but I'll try to argue from your worldview with my limited knowledge. It's fine.
Um, do you know what animal sacrifices were?
No. Well, I know what an animal
So
sacrifice is, but in the Christian context, no.
okay, so animal sacrifices were like basically people sacrifice animals, and it basically took the sin out of the world. And
Okay.
they didn't do it for like eating or anything like that. It was just to take sin out of the world so they could basically get closer to God because Jesus didn't come back at that time. He didn't come back, or not come back at that time. But he wasn't as the word as that time. So whenever Jesus
Okay. So
came to the go ahead.
no, I was just gonna. I like to go point at a time. Um, so I just don't see how, because people used to sacrifice animals, that means it's okay for us to pay for animals to be abused, exploited, and like slaughtered today. Like, would you say it's okay to like sacrifice your dog because like they used to do it in the Bible? They used to sacrifice animals.
No, they didn't do dogs. They only did sheep, and it was another animal. I can't remember at the time. But I'm saying that animals were always killed even back then. So like
Yeah, but just
even if
because
it
it's
wasn't
always
just
been
for
that
like
way doesn't mean it should be
enjoyment
this way
purposes, you
today.
know what I'm saying? Huh?
Well, yeah, just because something's always been a way doesn't mean that's okay for us to do today, right? Like, there's always been, like, human sacrifice. There's always been slavery. There's always been homophobia, racism, all this bullshit. That doesn't mean any of this stuff is justified just because it's always been that way. We should try to
So
do
see,
better. We should try to improve ourselves.
yeah, I get what you're saying. But human sacrifices are way different than okay, so like as a Christian, I believe that God made us in his image
Hmm.
and he put animals on the planet for us.
Right. So just because he put them,
So like
he gave us dominion. I think, isn't it? I could be wrong. I don't know anything about Christianity. He gave us dominion over animals. Is that correct? Is that what the quote is?
yes.
Okay, so he gave us, which doesn't mean you must factory farm them and slaughter them. It just means you have dominion. You can do whatever you want. So if Jesus and
Yeah,
Satan were in a
whatever you
room
want. So
and there
like
was like vegetables on one side and a cute little pig on the other, who do you think would stab and kill the pig when you could just eat vegetables instead? Do you think Jesus would do that, or do you think Satan would do that?
that's a weird way to put it.
Well, it's a hypothetical. I'm asking if Jesus and Satan were in the same room and there were all the Well, it's a hypothetical. I'm asking if Jesus and Satan were in the same room and there were all the vegetables you needed to be perfectly healthy on one side, and then there was a cute little baby pig, multiple cute little baby pigs. Who would be the one to stab and kill and eat the pigs? Would it be Jesus or would it be Satan?
I mean,
See, I would think
I
Satan would be
mean,
the
go
one
for it.
to kill baby pigs.
I mean, Jesus created the baby pigs. He could do whatever he want with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just because they look cute to him doesn't mean that plants look anything different to him. You know, it's his creation. He can do whatever he wants with it. Yeah, that's
So
yeah.
who do you think?
Everybody's in common saying
So
both.
you think
Yeah,
Jesus would
I said
stab the
both too.
pigs? So you
Huh?
do think Jesus would? So you think Jesus would stab the pigs and not Satan?
Um, I'm saying that they could both do both. I
Who do you
mean,
think would? Who do you think would? Do you think it would be Satan or Jesus to stab pigs
who
when they
would do
didn't?
what? Stab the pigs?
Yeah, when they didn't need to.
Satan, clearly.
Exactly, Satan. So we're in that exact same context today. We don't need to stab pigs. We can just eat plants instead. So why are we doing that?
Once again, that goes back to the dominion over animals. So I don't think you understand the point of
Well, dominion
dominion.
over
Dominion.
animals that means we can do whatever we want with them, but it doesn't mean we have to, right? It doesn't mean you have to factory farm them, you have to slit their throats, you have to gas them. So why are we doing that when we could just not do that?
Dominion doesn't mean anything's right or wrong. Dominion means you have a stand over something. So that means like, see, your dominion could be like, I don't want to kill
Right,
the
and I'm
animals,
asking
and
you if we have a stand
that's your
over,
personal dominion. My personal
and I'm
dominion
asking if
is
like, and I'm asking like if we have dominion over them according to Christianity, then that means we can do whatever we want with them. So if we have the choice to do whatever we want with them, why are we choosing to abuse them, exploit them, and slaughter them when we cannot? And I mean, you yourself said if Jesus and Satan were in the same room, that Satan would be the one to kill the pigs needlessly and not Jesus. So clearly, we should probably just be, not stabbing the pigs if we don't have to.
I mean, yeah, if you want to think about it that way, but like, I'm
Is
saying
there
that
anything? I'm genuinely curious. Is there anything in the Bible that says you should not be vegan, like you can't be vegan? Is there anything in the Bible that says that? I'm not being a smartass.
I
I'm
mean,
genuinely
no,
curious. I
you have
actually
free
don't know.
will. It's up to you what you want to do.
Okay, so
But
like it is an option. Like you could be vegan if you wanted to, like according to Christianity.
yeah, but God also
Okay,
says
so like
God
why
in
not
the
be
New
vegan, man?
Testament.
Like you know what I mean? Like why pay for animals? Like I'm sure you think it's wrong to stab dogs. You know what I mean? I'm sure you think it's wrong to abuse, exploit, and slaughter dogs. So why do you think it's okay to do that to pigs? You know what I mean? It's just super weird. Pigs want to be happy just like dogs do. I have two pigs. They're awesome, man. They want to be happy just like dogs do. They're super cool.
So in 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 our world, it is wrong to stab and kill like dogs and cats, but like
Well, does it say that in? Well, it doesn't say
it's
that in the
up to
Bible.
your
But you're
choice.
arguing.
I personally believe that it's wrong to stab a dog and cat, but to somebody else, their dominion could put them in a different
Okay.
standpoint. Like they
Okay, so
might
now
think
you're
it's
not
not.
talking about religion. Now you're talking about your personal belief. So why is it your personal belief that it's okay to
I'm
stab pigs but not dogs?
why do I think that?
Yeah, yeah. You said it's your personal
It's
belief that it's
just
okay to
it's just
stab pigs
I
but not
mean,
dogs.
it's your personal belief to believe that you shouldn't stab any animal.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just asking you why it's your personal belief that you believe that
I
though.
was I was just growing up that way.
Okay, I don't think just because you were growing up a certain way makes it okay, right? Because like certain people grew up homophobic, that doesn't mean it's okay for them to be
Did you
homophobic
grow
just
up
because they
vegan?
grew up that way. No, I was not. I was not vegan my first 20 years of my life. I'm 26 now.
So
I've been
you
vegan for the
grew
last
out
6 years.
of the so you grew out of the what made you believe that it was wrong to kill animals?
Because because hold on, sorry, I'm typing in my password. It's hard for me to concentrate. Okay, because animals want to be happy just like us. Animals don't want to die, and we don't need to kill them. So why are we abusing them, exploiting them, and killing them when we can just eat plants instead? It makes no sense. Like I called myself an animal lover. I said I'm against animal abuse, but then here I am paying for animals to be killed and abused every day of my life. You know what I mean? Actually, this is a question, a personal question for you. I know you're arguing from Christianity, but do you think animal abuse is bad?
Of course.
So why do you pay for animals to be abused if you think it's bad?
I don't believe I pay for animals to be abused.
Well, so the definition of abuse is to cause cruelty or violence to an animal or a human. So when you pay for them to have their throat slit and like eat them, you're paying for that cruelty and violence. So it is abuse.
I feel like the worldly definition of animal abuse is widely taking off of dominion and a standpoint, because
Well, I'm just
dominion
asking
could
you your
be.
personal. I'm just asking you your personal beliefs because you just told me that you're against animal abuse, but you also pay for animal abuse. So that just seems like kind of hypocritical to say you're against it, but you pay for it to happen. And I'm not trying to be a dick. You've been super cool with me. Please don't think
Oh
I
no,
am.
no, no,
You've
no.
been the
I
most
get
like
what you're saying.
rational person I've had.
Wait, can you say the question one more time? I'm sorry, I kind of
Oh,
like.
yeah, so I'm asking you like your personal beliefs. I said, do you think animal abuse is bad? You said yes, but you also like pay for animals to be abused, and to me that just seems like hypocritical to say you're against something but pay for it to happen.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
That's all, man. I've had a good talk with you. I'm gonna try going on to
Mm-hmm.
the next person, but I
Uh-huh.
really hope you have a good day, dude. Seriously, I enjoyed the talk.
You too, man.
Thanks
Mm-hmm.
for keeping it respectful. I really appreciate that.
Uh-huh. God bless you, man. Mm-hmm.
Yo, peace out, man. All right. Oh God, do I call it after that?